So thank you, everybody, and hi. I'm a PowerPoint and a communication expert, but I'm not an artist or a designer. And tonight you'll be hearing presentations from some fabulous artists. And you might think, well, that's a little scary. You might be awed by it. And I just don't want you to be put off from creating your own presentations. So today I have some tips, some pointers for you that you can use to create your own vibrant and high-powered presentation slides. But I want to know how many of you think of yourselves as artistically challenged. Okay, so we definitely have some of you here. So that's good. When you have to give a presentation, you usually don't have the opportunity to hire a designer. But you want your slides to look good, and it's a challenge there because you know your slides don't look very good maybe, and maybe other people told you that. And how many of you have heard, death by PowerPoint, have seen presentations like that, and you don't want to be one of those types of presenters. So what it is it's an obstacle for you. It's a challenge, sort of like the proverbial brick wall, how to make your slides look good. And so what do you do about that? How do you get over that? How many have had that kind of feeling, like this is a challenge for me? I have to do that? Okay. So what are we going to do about that? So I'm going to give you these tips, these pointers, if you'd like to feel confident that you can create, again, high-powered, highly visual presentations that are not death by PowerPoint. And you can use them for Pachakacha, you can use them for business, for education, for personal use, whatever you want. But first, I'm going to tell you a sad story on how it helped me. So in 2004, I wrote an article for Presentations Magazine called it was called Slide Design Without Bullets. And it was a great topic, but my slides were really horrible. And someone actually wrote a letter to the editor saying, how could you publish such a bad slide? So you can imagine, right, how I felt. So here, for the second time ever, I'm presenting you with this slide. And you can see that it's, you don't know where to focus first or next, and the colors are a little, blinding, something like that. And so I realized that I needed to learn how to design great slides. After all, I was writing about presenting, and so I really needed to have some good examples. So I started going to a presentation conference every year. I read books on research, I read books on slide design, and I also looked at prize-winning presentations and analyzed them, all to try to figure out what to do. And so based on some research and what I read, I came up with a system that I called the tell and show method. And basically what you do is you tell your point with a slide title, and then you show it. Now here you're seeing an image, but it could be a diagram, it could be a chart, like a graph, whatever it is. But it's just like the boys' picture book. One side tells the story, and the other one shows the story with this big picture. So it's a very simple method. Anyone can do it. And a corollary is to put one point on a slide. Now in Pachakacha, that's how I pronounce it, in Pachakacha, same thing as Pechakucha, there's a custom to not use very much text, but research shows that in most presentations, having some text that puts the point up there helps people understand and remember what you're saying, which is a good thing. So this might be your default slide with a centered title and a centered image, and it works for a chart or a diagram, but for an image it's pretty forgettable. So I'm going to show you 4 layouts that always look good that you can use. So the first layout is going to be something where you're going to have to put the image on the right side. Now you might have to crop the image to get it to be in that shape, but cropping is always good. You can see how the image looks bigger, right? Your focus, whatever was extraneous around the edge is gone, so you can focus more on it. So cropping is always a good thing to do, and this layout pretty much always looks good. It's pretty common. The second one is obvious, just make the picture take up the whole slide. Now if the text that you have on there doesn't show up over the image, you can make the background of that text area semi-transparent, as I've done. And again, here you see it's big, right? So we all know bigger is better, right? That's the principle. And so then the third one is very similar, but the text is on the top and the image is below it. Again, you may have to crop it to get it to fit that unique shape. And this is the layout that I used for that tell and show slide with the little boy reading the book. So I use this a lot. And finally, what else could there be? Like, that's everything, right? But no, here's another idea, the fourth layout with the text at the upper left and the image at the bottom right. But for this, you need an image that has no background. Okay, and it creates this diagonal line that draws the audience's attention. First you read the text and then you go down to the image. So those are those 4 layouts that always look good. So I have some more points for you as well, a couple more ideas. And one of them has to do with your images. So can you see how these all have to do with computers, but can you see how they all look really different? Their style is different. Can you see that? So what you want to do is you want to try to find images that have a similar style so it doesn't look chaotic. Okay? Just take a look at them and you'll see how they all look so different. So, and the last thing is just to use photos and not cheesy clip art. Okay, cheesy clip art gives PowerPoint a bad name. I've been telling PowerPoint they just have to get rid of it completely. If you're a good designer, you can create icons that look wonderful, but for those of us who are artistically challenged, a photograph is a savior. You find a good, clear photo, and when you use it, and then it will make you look good. In PowerPoint, you can always specify that you only want photos. This is how you do it in PowerPoint 2013. And PowerPoint is my secret source for images. Almost all of the images in this presentation come from within PowerPoint. So you don't have to go far, and they're free. So again, you just go insert picture, insert online pictures, and you can specify that you want only photos. So basically, we have 4 principles here. One is that cropping is good. Crop your photos to make them more powerful. Use big photos, as big as you can. There are those 4 layouts that always look good. And finally, try to find, as much as possible, a common style for your images, just to make for a little bit more coherence. It'll look more designed, a little bit more professional. So what I want to do is I want to invite you to take these principles and make over a slide that a presentation that you already have. And what I'm going to invite you to is to send me a before and after slide. There's my email address, and I'll give you some free